Hey there! So today we have a battle beers between three Pilsners. This is Sierra Nevada Nooner, this is Jack's Abbey Post Shift, and this is Jack's Abbey Sunny Ridge. This is their year-round Pilsner, and this is their seasonal Pilsner. Don't actually know the specific differences between these three, but interesting thing about this one is that I wanted to do it blind. I mean, there are, obviously some reasonable differences between some IPAs, and I try to do those blind, but when we try to pick out the nuances between German Pils, I'm very curious, and I'm really excited to see which one I find to be the best, and also whether I can just pick out the difference between them. Granted, I'm not super familiar with these beers. It's not like I consistently drink a lot of these beers, but the nuances will be hard for me to just specifically pinpoint which one's which. Let's just do it blind and see which one's the best. So they all pretty much look about the same. I want to say this one might have a little bit more clarity to it. Let's get the aroma on this one. Yeah, it smells like Pils. You get the crackery malts, you get a little bit of grassiness. What else is there? Not too much to speak of. Yeah, a little bit of that noble hop character, that kind of a little bit of a hint of spice and just grass. Cheers. So this one, to me, perceived to have maybe, doesn't quite pop, and so there might be a little bit of oxidation in there. There's also possibly some DMS, which is this kind of like cooked vegetal, kind of like cooked vegetal kind of flavor that is appropriate for the style to be there in a decent amount. Rounds and malt character, this fresh breadiness comes in. There is a bit of this like greenness, which I'm getting, which perceived to be like some kind of like cooked vegetable kind of thing. A little bit of snap of bitterness in there. Yeah, it's quite nice. Doesn't really pop too much, but yeah, it's good. Dig in the second one. This one smells a lot more aromatic. This one I'm getting this kind of like floral thing driving in there. Also the fresh yeast character, the bread. Yeah, but it smells a little bit more like traditional German Pils to me. I'm also getting that just like grainy character they get from, I guess they're using Pale 2 Row or German Pils malt. Cheers. This one ends up being a little bit more sweet, which is nice. I like the little bit more rounded, beefier malt character on this one. It also, it transitions quite a little bit better. There's a nice freshness to it. There's a yeasty bread thing that I really like from the malt driving in here, just like the aromatics, and then smooth bitterness drives on the back end. More of that floral thing. Quite nice. This one is really good. Singing this one. Oh wow, this one's different. This one almost smells fruity, almost getting this kind of like banana thing, which is weird, which should not be coming off from a lager yeast. Wow, yeah, that's weird. It's overripe fruit. And then underneath is that kind of hint of, again, that fresh breadiness. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's weird. Huh, interesting. So this certainly has a more fruit character to it. As I drink it more, it has like a cherry thing, which I think some lager yeast strains end up having a little bit of that kind of like that pitted fruit character. Very fruity, wow. Surprisingly. Again, lager yeasts are generally pretty tame. They're very different from ale yeast strains, but they can offer their own specific qualities, and a little bit of fruitiness is something that can come off of some yeast strains. Yeah, a little bit more decent bitterness here. That fruitiness and the bitterness ends up being a little bit more dominant, whereas the fresh malt here is really what I get. I like this one the best. Oh, and then that cleanness of the back end sort of reminds me of traditional German Pils. Again, obviously these are all American products. A little bit more tame. When I'm looking for Pils, I think this is a little bit too expressive, so I think I like this one the most. This one I think is Post Shift. This one I think is Nooner. And then this one I think is Sunny Ridge. 1, 2, 3. in rating or preference. Let's dig into this one. This one is post shift. Oh wow, this one's post shift. Okay, my least favorite of the bunch. Number 2 is Nooner. Okay, so I was correct. This is Nooner, and then this is the Sunny Ridge. Okay, so I switched them. Wow. So this should be here. Wait, no. This should be here. Sorry, it can be a little confusing sometimes. Yes. Let me try them out of the can. Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Pils. It's got that fresh malt. It's bright. It's got that lingering kind of malt character driving. Again, it has, German snappy hoppy bitterness, but, the malt is really what sells the beer to me. Yeah. There's a different yeast profile. I mean, it's the same yeast. I assume, Jack's Abbey's using the same yeast between them, but there's something a little bit different. Maybe it's the malt. Maybe it's the hops that are, different. But absolutely awesome. I mean, obviously the Nooner is the most accessible of these, so I highly recommend it. But if you can get your hands on Jack's ABA, I highly recommend it. I mean, I think the price of this was something like $9 for a 6-pack. I mean, you might as well buy this over macro beers. That quality good. Absolutely amazing. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Let me know what some of your favorite Pilsners are. These are some great ones. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Later.